So you think we shouldn't do philosophy, huh? I have an irrefutable response to you that is not going to convince you at all. How's that possible? Let's consider.
I can't get it off my mind.
Hello, philosophers. I'm Chico. Welcome to the Philosopher Show, where we consider the greatest questions of human history. Clearly, we have a bit of a different backdrop today. We're on vacation in New Mexico, so we thought maybe we check out a little outdoor action. Before we get started on this episode, I want to warn you that I'm going to sound super condescending at first. Please stick with me. Trust me, I've changed my ways, right? But let's get into it. I used to think that I had this outstanding argument. I would ask my class, give me some reasons why we should avoid doing philosophy. What objections do you guys have to doing philosophy? And I always had this one in my back pocket. I was ready to, as soon as they were all done talking, I was going to drop it on them. And then we just start doing philosophy because everybody would know now there's no reason to not do philosophy. And it went something like this. The moment you start saying that we should not do philosophy and giving reasons for that, you are not doing biology, right? You're not doing physics. What are you doing? Well, you're giving me philosophical reasons, right? You were doing philosophy to say we should not do philosophy. Now, that is what's called self-refuting, right? It would be like me saying, I don't speak a word of English. Nope, don't speak any English. Well, clearly I do speak some English, right? By saying I don't speak English, I am refuting myself, right? By that very objection. I would look around the classroom, what do you think, guys? And the students that were already convinced of doing philosophy, the ones that liked philosophy already, they were nodding their heads, yes, good job, continue. The students that were on the fence, they weren't convinced by that, right? This is irrefutable evidence, right? How could you not be convinced? But they would look at me kind of askew and wonder, I don't know if I buy that. And then students that didn't like philosophy would be rolling their eyes, and I could see in the back of their mind, they were thinking to themselves, this is exactly why I hate philosophers, right? This reason right here. So it made me go back to the drawing board and reconsider. I had to think about, what is my goal for doing philosophy? Why am I doing this class or this YouTube channel or thephilosopher.com? Is it so I can just squelch the opposition? I think that's a pretty poor reason to do anything. And so I think the way I was presenting it was poor. But number two, was it so that I could convince others of my beliefs? Now, maybe that's a good reason at times, but I kind of think that's not the best reason. I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong about my beliefs, in which case me convincing you is a bad thing. Now I'm convincing you to be wrong. So the third reason, a third possible goal in doing philosophy, I believe, is because we want to know what the world is like, right? We want to get a little bit closer to truth. I don't think that we can ever get 100% perfect, but I think we can get better. And I think, like I say at the end of my videos all the time, I think the best way to do that is in dialogue. Is me asking you, what do you think? And me, bouncing some ideas off of you. So, I think that if that is the goal, again, I am doing it wrong by just, lambasting you with this, haha, I got you, right? That doesn't help anybody. So another thing that I think that I learned was how to do philosophy in dialogue. First of all, I think these are some tips for you, right? First of all, I would suggest when you are conversing with somebody that you ask about their ideas first. Ask them to explain their perspective and even help them out. I mean, help them to better understand what they believe. Number two, offer your ideas only when you have earned the right to be heard. Only when you've seriously considered what that other person has to say and not just try to shoot them down, right? And number three, I think be willing to change your mind, right? I think people will take you more seriously if they see that you are willing to consider them so much that when they present something that is legitimate, that you are willing to believe it. I do think that there are some beliefs that are maybe we could say fundamental beliefs, right? Like base level beliefs that you just don't get to change. So maybe the belief that rationality is dependable, right? That your mind isn't just jacked up or something like that, or that we'll talk about the problem of the other minds eventually, but maybe that there are other minds and it's not just you, right? For me personally, don't change the channel yet. All right, hold off and let me explain. One of my base level, I would say, is I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ wholeheartedly, and I would not change my mind on that. I was an atheist though, all right? So I considered, right? I was raised Christian and then I became an atheist. But now I think this is one of my base level beliefs that I would not change. However, all right, don't think that because of that I am giving you, my take on it, or that I am being non-objective or something like that. I'm going to be as objective as possible. I don't think anybody can be perfectly objective, but I'm going to do my best to be as objective as possible, to present to you these ideas in a way that makes sense, that is reasonable, that you can see, I could see why somebody would say that, right? So yeah, don't think that I got to turn away now because this guy is clearly trying to convert me. That's not at all my mission here. My mission is to help you to consider your world, to better understand your world, to reflect on your world. That's what I'm about. I learned those things, and I think the biggest reason I would say be willing to change is because one of the things I learned was that I was not totally correct about my irrefutable evidence. Kind of crazy, but I don't think it shows everything that I thought it showed. I think it shows that at least some philosophy should be done, right? But I don't think it shows that all philosophy is legitimate. So for example, let's say people started to do nothing but YouTube videos, and that's the only way they communicated, right? The only way they communicated was through these videos, and it was unhealthy for relationships. I think it would be incumbent upon us to reach out to people and say, hey, we should stop doing so much YouTube videos, right? Cut it down a little bit. But then you could point out to me, oh, you're saying don't do YouTube videos over a YouTube video, right? Because that's the only way I could communicate to you would be to make this video, right? Well, obviously I'm not saying don't do any YouTube videos. I'm just saying we should maybe cut down on them, or there's certain things we should not do on YouTube, right? Like maybe marriage proposals, I don't know. Oh, maybe that would be clever. I don't know. I mean, propose to people however you like, right? However, that's not a word. Propose to people however you like. I'm just saying that it would still make sense to say, let's cut down on the philosophy the YouTube, by doing YouTube video. In the same way, you could get away with saying there are some philosophies, or areas of philosophy, maybe we should say, that are not legitimate, right? Some where we're just sort of spinning our wheels, we're not getting anywhere. Some maybe that's even dangerous for us to do. And I'll either do an episode or maybe a blog on that too, on is philosophy dangerous? Yeah, there is some philosophy I think that is dangerous. So we'll have to do some philosophy to see which ones are dangerous, which ones should we avoid, or maybe we should think about it ahead of time and come up with our philosophical reasons for why we shouldn't do that philosophy, right? Something like that. So, like I said, I think the best philosophy happens in dialogue. Please feel free to comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any experience with philosophy that you think is pointless, or philosophy that you think has helped you a lot, right? What ideas have really just gotten into your mind that you're just like, yeah, that's awesome. I want to think more about that. And let me know, especially because I can do more videos on those things that you're interested in. Please subscribe, like, comment, and tag a friend so that they can join the conversation. Adios.